Hello guys, MonkeyBot here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 starting situations within the Old World mod. So I have picked 5 different legendary lords who are in a pretty bad state in Immortal Empires, and they have been given such a better starting situation, whether it be due to the location, due to the enemies around him, due to the allies around him, and we're going to be talking about how much better their campaigns are now because of this. So let's get straight in with number 5. Coming in at number 5, you've got Ku'gath Plaguefather. Now, Ku'gath is in a much better situation than within Immortal Empires. In Immortal Empires, he started off in the Dragon Isles, going up against a Lizardman faction, which wasn't too big of a deal, but then he had to deal with Helm Gorse, which was a complete and utter nightmare. Now, he starts at war with a minor Slaanesh faction here. It can be a little bit tricky, considering that the Slaanesh faction will often try to seduce your plague bearers, but if you retreat and attack often enough, eventually you will get into a situation where the Slaanesh faction doesn't seduce any of your units and you can win that battle very easily. Moving on with that, your first legendary lord you'll be dealing with is Lokia Felheart, which is a much easier faction to deal with than Helm Gorse. And you've also got the Norscan faction here, which you can either use against Lokia Felheart because this is his starting enemy here, or you can take the territory for yourself, ready to stage an attack on Albion or the Empire with the rest of the Chaos factions here. Unfortunately, the technologies, the plagues are the same. You're not going to get many interesting plagues besides the ones you're used to, so unfortunately that mechanic is a little bit meh. But if you go into the technology here, the technology tree is the exact same, but it's much better suited for the climate he's actually in. For example, you get the growth plus 10 in settlements in chaotic wastelands, and then you get your recruitment cost plus minus 25 for regions within the chaotic wasteland climates. So you can get your armies much cheaper, as most of Norsca is chaotic wastelands here. Building up your armies much quicker, as your units are ridiculously expensive for the plague god here. And you've got much more enemies around you to build up those forces before you stage your attacks. So it's not an easy walk in the path. It's still a bit of a grind to get going with Ku'gath. But with the allies around him and the much easier enemies to deal with and the better climate and territories around him, he is in a much better situation compared to what he was in Immortal Empires. So that's it with Ku'gath. Now moving on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have Kyrian. So Kyrian's situation is vastly better yet again compared to the Immortal Empires. This is due to a couple of reasons. The main reason is just the amount of space that you now have to work with. You're no longer working with like 4 or 5 provinces, and you've now got vastly huge area to work with. Your southern border is completely safe. For example, if I show you here, to get across this river on land, I have to go either all the way through the mountains here, or sorry about the lag, that's the revealing the Fog of War mod. But yes, and then go all the way over here. Obviously, I can cross the river, but this will take several turns, especially if I do not earn the territory around it. This will give me a much safer situation to go up against Drycha here. Obviously, she can use the underway stance to cross the river, so I am still threatened by that. But even more from Vlad, because Vlad now has to cross 2 of these rivers to get to me. So I am now very, very safe from my southern border. Once I've taken out these greenskins here, I can then potentially sell these regions to Umgrim down here to be friends with him. And then Umgrim can deal with anything that's going on the east side here, helping out Mother Estankia. And then all I have to do is take out these vampires and then move up to help Kostalton against Azag. So, and then once Azag is taken out, all I've got to do now is defend against the massive invasion of chaos. Hellpit will make its way up, Wintertooth will be coming in, Kairos will be coming in, and it now feels like a proper northern bastion against chaos. And this is what Immortal Empire should feel like, instead of just fighting, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. He's up here. Let me just remind myself. He's up here somewhere. Azazel. Just fighting Azazel and then hordes and hordes of Norska. Now you're actually fighting against the true Chaos Invasion, which is what Kislev should have been in Immortal Empires. So that's it for Kyrian. Now moving on to number 3. Coming in at number 3, you have Belagar. And Belagar has been given quite a lot of extra help now in the old world compared to Immortal Empires. So early on, you're going to notice that you have been given a mission to defeat these ogres here. So you've got to win 2 battles against the following factions, which are the Rock Skulls here, and this will give you a confederation opportunity to confederate up here with Kyrian. This will give you a nice starting province, excluding this one Tomb King settlement over here. It will give you a little bit of a financial penalty due to this army, but if you want, you can just get rid of it, or you can keep it over here, as you will quickly get into the positive again when the other mechanics that have been updated comes in. So second thing that's going for him is you are very close to Carrick 8 Peaks now. So you can start getting rid of this penalty quite early on. And instead of having it so in Immortal Empires, you have to capture Carrick 8 Peaks to get rid of the whole debuff completely. Now, as soon as you capture one settlement, this debuff will become less and less severe. So when I capture the first settlement, it will go to plus 45% upkeep. When I capture the second settlement, it will go to plus 35% upkeep, and so on and so forth until I capture the entire thing and lose the penalty completely. The reason I chose Belagar over the other 2 legendary lords competing for Carrick 8 Peaks is because I think in Immortal Empires, both Skarsnik and Queek, their debuffs aren't so severe. You can kind of play their campaign as normal, but with Belagar, with this plus 50% upkeep, you are really incentivized to rush to Carrick 8 Peaks, and now he is so close, now that the buff keeps diminishing quite early on in the campaign and gradually, and it's just a much better campaign experience as a whole. I will be streaming this campaign tonight, or I've streamed this campaign last night, depending on when I get this video finished. So you'll be able to watch the full Belagar stream there. Now, moving on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, you have Heinrich Kemmler. Now, Heinrich's situation is so much nicer in the Old World mod. In Immortal Empires, he started a little bit further north, sharing a province with Carrick Ziflin. He started in this settlement here, with this settlement not existing. And then in the same province, you had this settlement here, being the only split province in the entirety of the Immortal Empires, as far as I know, with the Empire Fort being in the middle, splitting off these settlements from this settlement here, giving Heinrich a much more difficult situation. You also started at war with Baston over here, so you didn't even start at war with anyone in your starting province, and to get this final settlement in the province here, you either had to fight through the fort or go all the way around, probably deal with Bretonia up here, and then finally come around and take your final settlement in your province. Now, the province situation is so much nicer. All you have to do is take this castle here from Paravon, who is your new starting enemy, and this gives you a really nice, clean, secure province that you can keep for the rest of your campaign, as you have to take this province here before you take, or this settlement, sorry, before you can take your capital in the corner. And then you lead on to take this province from Paravon here, and this then gives you a situation to either invade the rest of Bretonia, or now, even because there's no longer a fort settlement here, you can just fight straight into the Empire. And this works very well, actually, fighting into the Empire. It gives you a much better chance to meet up with Vlad, getting an alliance and a potential confederation, and as well as his mechanic where he gains relations against chaos aligned factions. You can now meet up with Kazrik in the north. You've also got Torox up here, as well as Festus the Leech Lord up here, and you go further north, you can meet up with the rest of your potential chaos aligned factions. to gain an alliance, gain some trade, and so on, giving you some much more needed allies for your campaign. So it's just a much better situation, just giving the whole situation that they don't have a fort. You can just push up north and meet up with your allies, and you don't have a split province here. It's just a much nicer, cleaner campaign for Heinrich. Now, moving on to and finally, we have Kfar at number 1. So, Kfar in the Immortal Empires was in a very, very tough situation. So you would often lose many of your elect accounts through the many enemies throughout the Empire. You would often lose Ostermark to Dreicher. You would lose Averland and Sturland to the von Carsteins. You would lose Hochland here to Festus the Leech Lord. And you would lose Midland to Kazarak. Now, with all of these elect accounts regions being so much larger, you will still lose elect accounts. For example, Averland will probably be the first one to go with Dreicher. Second one will be this elect account here to Torox. But all of the other elect accounts tend to hold on much nicer now. So you won't be losing Imperial Authority as quickly as you would in Immortal Empires, and it will give you time to react. And you also have another elect account over here, which you could also use to give the settlements back, gain the Imperial Authority, and not have to go into civil war with the rest of the Empire. Not to say that this is an easier campaign. There are still many enemies around. Vlad will still be an issue. Dreicher will still be an issue. You will get double ganged by Torox and Kazarak at one point, fighting both towards your location. And Festus will still be a nuisance up north. But it just gives you the time needed to deal with those threats now, with so many more regions being within the Empire area. So that sums it up for my top 5 improved starting locations. For more content like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be doing a stream in about an hour-ish, half an hour, from when this video go live. So it'll be at 6:30 GMT, which I will be doing a Belagar campaign. If you are watching this at the day after it's been released, I'm sure the VOD is being up if you want to watch that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.